All right, buckle up, everybody. We're diving deep into the Pomodoro technique today.
Yeah, we're going all in.
If you're looking to really master this time management method, well, you've come to the right place.
Absolute.
We're going to be talking focused work sprints, strategic breaks, all that good stuff to help you crush that to-do list without burning out.
That's right.
Think of this deep dive as your like cheat sheet to really understanding not just what the Pomodoro technique is.
But the why behind it.
Exactly. Why it works so well.
We're going beyond just scratching the surface here.
Yeah.
We're going to really unpack the psychology and the science behind why it's so effective.
Awesome. And just to give you a little context, the sources for this deep dive are 2 super in-depth articles.
Yeah, both focused on how the Pomodoro technique can boost your productivity and help you study better.
Yeah, if you're all about maximizing your learning and getting those aha moments,
This one's for you.
this one's for you. Get ready.
It's going to be a good one.
All right, let's break it down.
Yeah, let's get into it.
What exactly is this Pomodoro technique? Where did it even come from?
Well, the technique itself was actually born way back in the late 1980s,
Ooh.
thanks to this guy, Francesco Cirillo.
Oh, I've heard that name.
And he actually named it after a tomato-shaped kitchen timer.
Oh, that makes sense.
He was using Pomodoro means tomato in Italian.
Oh, okay, cool.
So pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
But don't let the simplicity fool you. It's actually a really powerful technique.
It's amazing how something so simple can be so effective.
Right.
But how does it actually work? Like in practice, what do you do?
Okay, so the core idea is to work in focused intervals, typically 25 minutes long.
Okay,
And you separate those by short breaks,
got it.
and you repeat that whole cycle 4 times.
Okay.
And then you take a longer break, like about 15 to 20 minutes.
I see. So that's where the tomato timer would come in handy, I bet.
Exactly, yeah.
But I've got to admit, 25 minutes of straight focus, that sounds a little intimidating. What if I get distracted or hit a wall before that timer even goes off?
That's a really common concern, actually.
Yeah, it is.
And it kind of highlights one of the key strengths of this technique,
Okay.
which is combating procrastination.
Oh, interesting.
So instead of just staring down this huge, overwhelming task,
Yeah,
you're committing to just 25 minutes.
right.
And psychologically, that makes the whole thing just way less scary.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And so you're much more likely to just get started.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah,
There's something about breaking things down into smaller chunks that makes them feel so much more manageable.
right, exactly.
Like I can do this.
Yeah, it's not just about the perception, though.
Okay.
That ticking timer, it creates this sense of urgency,
Oh, yeah.
almost like a fun little challenge.
You're like, I got to beat the clock.
Yeah, you want to beat the clock, and you want to get as much done as possible before it goes off.
I could see how that would definitely help with motivation. Speaking of motivation, one thing that always kind of trips me up is burnout.
Yeah.
How does the Pomodoro technique address that?
That's where those structured breaks come in.
Okay, right?
Our brains, they're just not really designed to focus nonstop.
That's true.
Those short breaks, they allow time for mental and physical rejuvenation.
Okay.
And there's actually studies that have shown that taking regular breaks actually helps improve cognitive function and memory consolidation.
Wow. So it's not just about avoiding burnout. It's
Yeah.
about enhancing our ability to learn and retain information.
Exactly.
That's huge, especially for anybody who's trying to study or master a new skill.
Absolutely, yeah.
So those breaks, if we use them effectively, can actually boost our productivity.
Yeah, big time.
It's all about doing things that really recharge your mind and body.
Right. And for example, studies have shown that just a quick walk outside can do wonders for your creativity.
Okay.
Much more so than say scrolling through social media.
That's a great tip. I'm always tempted to just zone out on my phone during a break.
Yeah.
But I guess that's not really the best way to recharge.
Not really. You want to think of these breaks as like mini investments in your focus and your energy.
Oh, okay.
So a short walk, some stretching, even just closing your eyes and taking some deep breaths, these things can make a world of difference.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Mhm.
It's not just about working hard, it's about working smart and using those breaks strategically.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
But how does the Pomodoro technique help with time management specifically?
Well, it's all about creating a framework.
Okay.
Those defined work intervals and breaks, they give you a sense of control over your time.
Right. You're not just kind of drifting through your day.
Yeah, you're not just drifting, you're breaking it down into these manageable chunks, and you're tracking your progress.
So it's almost like having a roadmap for your day with these clear checkpoints along the way.
I like that, yeah.
And that brings up a point from our research about accountability.
Yeah.
How does the Pomodoro technique make you more accountable for your time?
Each completed Pomodoro, that becomes like a mini victory,
Oh,
a
okay.
tangible measure of your progress.
I like that.
Yeah, and this constant feedback loop, it helps boost motivation.
Okay.
It makes you less likely to slip back into procrastination.
I can definitely see how that would be incredibly motivating.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
Instead of just focusing on this big task ahead of me, I'm celebrating these small wins along the way. It
Absolutely.
feels much more attainable.
Yeah.
And to really maximize that accountability,
Yeah.
what about using like a simple notebook or a task management app
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
just to track your Pomodoros and the tasks that you complete during each session?
It's a great way to kind of visualize your progress
Right.
and identify patterns in your productivity.
I love that. It's like having a productivity journal where you can track your wins and learn from your experiences.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about applying the Pomodoro technique to learning specifically?
Oh, yeah, that's a big focus for our listener today.
That's right.
Well, the Pomodoro technique, it's a powerful tool for learning because it naturally incorporates this principle of spaced repetition.
Oh.
So by revisiting material at these regular intervals, you're essentially reinforcing your memory
Got it.
and improving long-term retention.
So it's like those flashcards we used to use in school.
Right.
By spacing out our review sessions, we're giving our brain a chance to absorb the information.
Exactly. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
And it applies to any type of learning, whether you're prepping for exams, you're picking up a new language, or you're mastering a complex skill.
Right.
It's about working with your brain's natural learning processes.
Wow, this technique has so much potential,
It really does.
not just for productivity, but for learning and personal growth as well.
For sure.
What if that traditional 25-minute interval doesn't work for me? I know our sources mention something about adaptability.
Yeah, that's actually one of the most appealing aspects of this whole technique, is that it's not, one size fits all.
Right.
You can absolutely tweak it to fit your own needs and preferences.
So maybe you need longer intervals for deep thinking tasks or shorter ones for tasks that require less concentration.
Right. Or maybe you need to change up the break times a little
Right.
bit.
So it's about finding your own rhythm and what works best for you.
Exactly. You're making the technique work for you, not the other way around.
I like that.
And this flexibility is especially important for maintaining a healthy work-life balance.
Right.
It's not about becoming a slave to the timer. It's about using it as a tool to help you focus and manage your energy effectively.
All right. I'm getting excited about trying this out.
Yeah, me too.
But before I jump in, I'd love to get some practical tips for implementation.
Okay, yeah.
What are some key things to keep in mind to make the Pomodoro technique really work?
I think one of the most important things is minimizing distractions. So think dedicated workspace, phone on silent, notifications off.
Okay, got it.
Anything to help you create that bubble of focus.
So no more trying to work with a million tabs open and my phone buzzing constantly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, clear goals are key.
Right.
Before each Pomodoro, define exactly what you want to accomplish during those 25 minutes.
Okay,
It could be writing a paragraph, solving a specific problem,
got it.
researching a particular topic, that specificity that keeps you on track.
Okay, so it's about having that laser focus, knowing exactly what you're aiming for with each Pomodoro.
Exactly.
What about those breaks?
Oh, those breaks are super important.
Right.
Remember, they're not just about resting.
Okay.
They're about recharging. So step away from the screen, get your blood flowing, engage in something that brings you joy or helps you de-stress.
That's a great reminder. It's so easy to just scroll through my phone during those breaks, but I know that's not really recharging me.
Right. It might feel like a break, but it's not really giving your brain the rest it needs. So dedicated workspace, clear goals, strategic breaks. What else?
You want to track your progress
Okay.
and reflect on your experience. So keep a journal, use an app,
Got it.
whatever works for you. This helps you identify patterns in your productivity, pinpoint challenges, and celebrate those small wins.
It's about turning the Pomodoro technique into a continuous improvement process.
I like that. Yeah,
Constantly analyzing and tweaking things to optimize my productivity.
exactly.
I love that. It's about taking ownership of your productivity and constantly seeking ways to refine your approach.
For sure.
Any other final thoughts for our listener, who's eager to implement this technique?
Remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
Start small, experiment, be kind to yourself, and just enjoy the process of discovering what works best for you.
That's great advice.
The Pomodoro technique is a tool, and like any tool, it's most effective when used thoughtfully and strategically.
So we've covered the basics, the benefits, and some practical tips for implementation.
Yeah, we've laid the foundation.
What's next?
Well, in part two, we're gonna explore some exciting variations of the Pomodoro technique.
Ooh, exciting.
They can take your productivity to the next level.
Okay.
And we'll also delve into some advanced strategies that can help you overcome common challenges
Ooh, I like it.
and make this technique even more effective.
Sounds like we're just getting started.
We're just warming up.
Stay tuned, deep divers. We'll be back in a flash with more Pomodoro goodness to help you unlock your full potential.
We'll see you soon.
All right, see you.
Bye.
Bye. Welcome back to our Pomodoro Deep Dive. Last time we tackled the basics, the benefits, and even some practical tips for getting started.
We laid a good foundation.
But now it's time to level up our Pomodoro game, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're going beyond that traditional 275 method today. So get ready to explore some exciting variations that can cater to different work styles and preferences.
Okay, I am all ears. What kind of variations are we talking about?
Well, one popular alternative is it's called the 5217 rule.
5217.
Yeah, and it was developed by the Drogium group, and it actually challenges the classic Pomodoro structure.
Intriguing. So instead of 25 minutes of work followed by a 5-minute break, what does the 5217 rule propose?
It suggests working for 52 minutes straight,
Wow.
followed by a 17-minute break.
Okay.
And they found that this longer work interval, it's kind of the sweet spot for deep focus before mental fatigue sets in.
52 minutes, that is a serious chunk of focused work time.
It is.
But I can see how a longer break would be necessary to truly recharge after that kind of intense focus.
Absolutely.
Do you think this approach is better than the traditional Pomodoro?
Not necessarily better. I think different is a better word.
Okay.
It really depends on your personal work style and the type of tasks that you're tackling.
Right.
The 5217 rule might be ideal for someone who really thrives on these long stretches of uninterrupted focus. Whereas the classic 255 method, that could be more suitable for somebody who needs those more frequent breaks to stay engaged.
That makes sense. It's all about finding what works best for you.
Absolutely.
So what other variations are out there?
Well, let's talk about flow time.
Flow time.
Yeah, this method actually throws out the rigid time intervals altogether.
Wait, no timer. How does that even work?
With flow time, you essentially work on a task until you feel your focus starting to wane.
Okay.
And then you take a break. It's all about tapping into your natural flow state and working with your energy levels.
Oh, so it's a much more intuitive approach, relying on self-awareness rather than a timer.
Right.
I can see how that would be appealing to some people, especially those who find that ticking clock distracting or stressful.
Absolutely. It takes practice, though, to get good at recognizing when your focus is slipping.
Right.
But over time, you can become more attuned to those internal cues.
What kind of cues should we be looking for?
Well, start noticing when you start fidgeting or getting distracted easily or just feeling mentally drained.
Okay.
Those are all signs that it might be time to step away for a break.
So it's about listening to your body and mind and not forcing yourself to power through when your focus is fading.
Exactly.
I like that. Is flow time good for certain types of tasks more than others?
It's particularly well suited for those tasks that require, deep concentration and creative thinking.
Okay.
Because it allows you to, fully immerse yourself in that flow state.
Okay, that's two very different but interesting variations. What else is out there?
How about something a little more playful?
Okay, I like playful.
Have you heard of the Pomodoro Cube?
A Pomodoro cube. I haven't, but it sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
Well, it's a really fun way to add some variety to your breaks.
Okay.
So instead of just taking a standard 5-minute pause, you roll this physical cube, and it's got different activities written on each side.
Ooh, I love that. So it's almost like a game. So what kind of activities could be on the cube?
No, anything goes. It could be like a quick physical exercise,
Okay.
like stretching or jumping jacks, or a mental exercise like solving a puzzle or maybe doing a mindfulness meditation, or even something creative like doodling or listening to a piece of music.
I love that. That's a fantastic way to keep those breaks engaging and prevent them from becoming monotonous,
For sure.
It's almost like a game that helps you recharge and come back to your work with renewed energy.
Exactly. The Pomodoro Cube is a great example of how you can really personalize the technique and make it your own. It's all about finding what works best for you and keeping things fun.
Okay, I'm definitely adding a Pomodoro cube to my wish list. Now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some advanced strategies.
Okay,
Are there ways to really supercharge the Pomodoro technique and make it even more effective?
absolutely. One technique I really like is called Pomodoro chunking.
Pomodoro chunking.
Yeah, instead of scattering similar tasks throughout the day, you group them together into larger blocks of time.
So instead of switching between writing, editing, responding to emails, I could dedicate like a chunk of 4 or 5 Pomodoros to writing alone.
Exactly. This creates a much more immersive experience. It allows you to, really get into that deep workflow state.
Right.
It's particularly helpful for those complex tasks that require that, sustained focus and mental energy.
It's like giving your brain permission to really dive into a specific task without constantly switching gears.
Exactly, yeah.
I can see the benefit of that. What other advanced strategies should we know about?
Let's talk about Pomodoro reflection.
Pomodoro reflection. Okay.
This involves setting aside a few minutes at the end of each day or each week to review your Pomodoro sessions.
What should I be reflecting on exactly?
Well, ask yourself questions like, how many Pomodoros did I complete today? You know, which tasks did I make progress on? What challenges did I encounter? What adjustments can I make to my approach?
It's like turning the Pomodoro technique into this continuous improvement process, right?
I like that.
Constantly analyzing and tweaking things to optimize my productivity.
Exactly. By analyzing that Pomodoro data,
Yeah.
you gain these valuable insights into your work patterns. You can identify those areas for improvement and make the technique even more effective over time.
I love that. It's about taking ownership of your productivity and constantly seeking ways to refine your approach.
Absolutely.
Any other advanced strategies you want to share?
Yeah, let's explore theming your Pomodoros.
Theming my Pomodoros. That sounds interesting. Tell me more.
Yeah, this involves assigning specific themes or categories to different blocks of time.
Okay.
So let's say you've got, a mix of tasks related to your personal life, work, and maybe some creative projects. You could designate certain days or blocks of time for each theme.
Okay.
For example, Monday mornings are dedicated to work tasks.
Got it.
Tuesday afternoons to personal errands, and Wednesday evenings to creative pursuits.
Ah, so it's a way to create structure and boundaries between different areas of life,
Exactly.
preventing them from bleeding into each other and creating overwhelm.
Exactly. It's about being intentional with your time and energy and ensuring that you're giving dedicated focus to each aspect of your life.
Okay, so we've covered variations and advanced strategies. It seems like the Pomodoro technique has so much potential, but is it truly a one-size-fits-all solution? Can it really be used for any type of task?
That's a great question. While the Pomodoro technique is incredibly versatile,
Okay.
it's not necessarily the best fit for every single task.
What kind of tasks might not be well suited for this method?
Think about tasks that require spontaneous collaboration or real-time interaction, like brainstorming sessions or meetings or tasks that involve, constant communication.
Right.
The structured nature of the Pomodoro technique could actually hinder the natural flow of those activities.
Ah, so it's about choosing the right tool for the job.
Right.
Forcing a Pomodoro structure onto a brainstorming session might stifle creativity rather than enhance it.
Exactly. It's important to be mindful of the task's nature and choose the approach that best facilitates its completion.
That makes sense. Any other considerations we should keep in mind?
Yeah, it's important to remember that the Pomodoro technique, it's primarily a time management tool, not a task management tool.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? What's the difference?
Well, the Pomodoro technique, it helps you structure your time and work in those focused intervals, but it doesn't tell you which tasks to prioritize or how to manage your overall workload.
Okay.
You still need a solid task management system in place
Right.
to determine what needs to get done and in what order.
So it's about having a clear understanding of your priorities and a system for organizing your tasks, before you even start setting those Pomodoro timers.
Exactly. The two work hand in hand. You need a roadmap of what needs to be done,
Yeah.
and the Pomodoro technique provides that structure and focus to actually get it done effectively.
That is a really important point. It's not about blindly setting timers and hoping for the best. It's about integrating the Pomodoro technique into a larger productivity ecosystem.
I love that, yeah.
Now, before we wrap up this part, let's circle back to something we've touched on, throughout this whole discussion.
Yeah.
The importance of customization and experimentation.
There's been a recurring theme, hasn't
Yeah.
there? The Pomodoro technique, it's not a rigid set of rules, you know?
Right.
It's a framework that you can tailor to fit your own needs and preferences.
Our sources really hammered that home. They stressed that the Pomodoro technique is a framework, not a straitjacket. It's about experimenting with different interval lengths, break activities and variations to find what truly helps you focus and recharge.
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
You know, when you discover that personalized approach, that sweet spot that resonates with your unique rhythm, the Pomodoro technique becomes, more than just a time management tool.
Right.
It becomes a lifestyle.
I love that. It's about integrating this whole concept of focused work and intentional breaks into the very fabric of your day. It's not about forcing yourself into a mold. It's about creating a system that supports your natural flow and enhances your well-being.
Exactly. And that's when you start to see the real transformation.
Yeah.
Not just in your productivity, but in your overall sense of balance and fulfillment.
Right.
You might find yourself feeling less stressed, more energized, and more in control of your life.
I think that's a great place to pause for now. We've explored a variety of Pomodoro variations, delved into advanced strategies, and even addressed some common misconceptions about the technique's limitations.
It's been a fascinating exploration of how to truly personalize the Pomodoro technique and take your productivity to the next level.
We'll be back in the final part to wrap up our deep dive with some final thoughts and a challenge to help you make the Pomodoro technique a part of your daily life. Until then, keep experimenting and happy Pomodoroing.
Welcome back, deep divers, to the final part of our Pomodoro technique adventure.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
We have, from the basics and benefits,
To variations.
exciting variation.
Advanced strategies.
It's been amazing to unpack not just how the Pomodoro technique works, but why it's so effective.
Yeah, I think we've got a good grasp on that.
But now let's bring it all home.
Yeah.
Why should you, our listener, care about this technique?
What's the takeaway?
Yeah, what's the real takeaway here? I think the beauty of the Pomodoro technique is its accessibility and adaptability.
Okay.
It's not just a tool for students or productivity gurus.
Right.
It's for anyone who wants to sharpen their focus, conquer procrastination, and just feel more in control of their day.
Yeah, it's like having a secret weapon against that feeling of overwhelm that we all get when we're facing a mountain of tasks.
That feeling is the worst.
It is the worst.
And the Pomodoro technique is a great way to combat that.
And here's the thing.
What's that?
The more you practice the Pomodoro technique, the more you'll actually see these benefits kind of spill over into other areas of your life.
Oh, interesting.
You might find yourself, becoming more self-aware, more disciplined, more intentional with your time and energy overall.
That's amazing.
It's like a ripple effect,
Yeah.
starting with those focused work sprints and then just spreading out to create a more mindful and productive approach to life in general.
I love that, the ripple effect.
And one thing that really stood out to me from our research is this emphasis on customization.
Yeah, that was a big one.
It's not about rigidly following a set of rules,
Yeah.
but about discovering what works best for you.
Yeah, they really hammered that home, didn't they?
They did.
The Pomodoro technique is a framework,
Yes.
not a straitjacket.
Why not?
It's about experimenting with different interval lengths, break activities, variations, to find what truly helps you focus and recharge.
That's where the magic happens.
That's where the magic happens.
When you discover that personalized approach,
Yeah.
that sweet spot that resonates with your unique rhythm,
It clicks.
it clicks. The Pomodoro technique becomes more than just a time management tool.
What does it become?
It becomes a lifestyle.
I love that, a lifestyle.
It's about integrating this whole concept of focused work and intentional breaks into the very fabric of your day.
Yeah, it's not about forcing yourself into a mold.
Exactly.
It's about creating a system that supports your natural flow and enhances your well-being.
And that's when you start to see the real transformation,
Right.
not just in your productivity, but in your overall sense of balance and fulfillment.
You start to feel less stressed, you feel more energized.
More in control of your life.
Exactly.
Okay, before we send our listeners off on their Pomodoro journeys, I want to leave them with a final thought.
Okay.
Something to ponder as they experiment with this technique.
What is it?
One of the most profound insights I've gained from exploring the Pomodoro technique is that it's not just about managing time, it's about managing energy.
Oh, it's so true.
It's not about squeezing every last minute out of the day,
Right.
but about working with your natural energy cycles, taking breaks when needed, and approaching work with intention and focus.
It's about sustainability.
It is.
It's about working with your body's natural rhythms.
Absolutely.
And recognizing that we're not machines, you know?
We're
We have these ebbs and flows of energy throughout the day.
And if we can work with that rather than against it,
That's when we unlock our true potential.
that's when we do it.
That's the magic formula.
All right, deep divers, it's time for us to surface from this deep dive.
Back to the surface.
We've explored the depths of the Pomodoro technique, unearthed its hidden gems, and equipped you with the knowledge and inspiration to make it your own.
You got all the tools you need
You do. You do.
to go out there and conquer your to-do list.
And it's been a pleasure sharing this journey with you.
Likewise.
Now it's your turn to take the plunge and experience the transformative power of the Pomodoro technique firsthand.
I'm excited for everyone to try it out.
Me too. And remember, the best way to understand this technique is to try it out, to experiment with it, to make it your own.
Exactly.
So what are you waiting for? Set that timer, dive into your next task, and discover the magic of focused work and intentional breaks.
Happy Pomodoroing, everybody.
Until next time, deep divers, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of your own productivity.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.
See you then.
For more short-form podcasts like these, please like and subscribe. The top comment on this video will be the topic of our next podcast. Goodbye.